I guess they don't know that I am truly, truly grateful to be here again. Let the notification goes out. I speak nothing but peace and blessings over this broadcast. I do have some disclaimers, and that is don't you get on this broadcast talking crazy on my comment line. This is not, we're not here for that, okay? But if you hear from that for that, then I just pray that God just deal with you in a special type of way. Or you deal with me in a special type of way. Let the notification goes out. You know what time it is, you guys. This is the Mighty Monday Meltdown. It takes place at 7 o'clock live on YouTube and YouTube only. There will be some changes in the future in regards to how we do some of the things and some of the broadcasts moving forward. That wouldn't start until June 1st. Why do I keep saying January? June 1st is when that starts, right? So let me get myself together and work this thing out right before your eyes. Yeah, what's happening? So listen, I have an amazing message. I'm gonna be short, I'm gonna be brief. I don't think this message gonna require a lot of energy, right? But I do have to make sure that I lay the pavement. I have to lay the foundation. Hello, Sister Sonia. I have an amazing message that I want to bring across these airways. Please keep in mind, you guys, we are on air right now. We're live. Anybody can log in, and trust and believe me, if this message ain't a message for you, I'll give you a message before we even get started. And that is, every day when you go out into the world and you try to make things happen, somebody gonna try to get you off. Somebody gonna either try to cut you off. When you talking to people, energy's gonna be going back and forth. We all got somewhere we're trying to get to. Okay, so that's just how this broadcast is set up at this point, right? I appreciate the fire. The fire is a form of respect. It's power, and fire is just to show that you are here, that you are lit, that you are listening, right? There is a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is just so you can respond, but since we on this broadcast, it's gonna be hard to respond other than some fire. You don't really have to give out a type of whole line. You don't really have to reply to people because listen, you gotta stay focused. Focus on the message and the messenger. The messenger have something that he's gonna try to bring across. It's gonna be kind of difficult because it gotta be put together before I can give it to you, right? And other things is not gonna be put together. I'm just gonna give it to you, and you gonna have to be the one who put it together, right? So I hope I can display that and get this thing across. Remember, um, hearing and listening. Hearing is only so you can respond, right? But listening, which is what this broadcast was intended for, is how you learn. I started this year off saying we listen, we learn, and we execute. I believe if we can listen, go after God, we listen. Remember, God even stated, seek my face. And when you hear my voice, harden not your heart. That means to be submissive. That means to be open. And when we're open, that means we can learn, right? You cannot go into a store that's closed. It's closed, meaning you can't get in and nothing is coming out. What you need is inside, right? But if the doors are locked, you cannot get it. So we're going to need to be open. I'm going to push this thing. I'm going to press this thing. I hope that the filters from YouTube catch every crook or every person that's trying to sabotage somebody else. But I need to make sure that we understand what we're attempting to do. Three things that we're looking to do. We're looking to have a mighty move in the area of personal development. Personal development means I'm constantly working on my character. My character and my attitude is definitely the target. Every time I step up or I come forth, that is the first thing I'm telling myself is that I need to make sure that it's personal. That means I'm engaged, I'm aware. That means I'm in alignment and I'm receiving. And if that takes place in your life today, that means you're growing, you're developing, right? So that's personal development, right? Personal growth, that means only you can deal with this area right here. Only you can deal with the area that requires growth, because no one knows what you've been through. No one knows what you're dealing with. No one knows what you had to overcome. You see, you're going to have people that are going to come into your life, and their life is already in shit, hell, or wherever, and in bad situations. And when it's in bad situations, you're going to have to know how to walk around them. You're going to have to know how to keep pushing it, right? So I want to make sure that you understand personal growth. You know, for many of us, we go through things on a day-to-day basis. Nobody knows, and the last thing you need is somebody pushing you. The last thing you need is somebody pressing you. The last thing you need is somebody testing you. And for many of us, this is how we develop our strength. This is how we gather our power. This is how we come together so that you can get what you need and you can keep it moving. For others, like I said, we're in a lost time. We're in a dark world when we're trying to light the light in a place, and you are the light. Wherever you at, you are the light. And if you're trying to put out somebody else's light, that's because you're the darkness, you're the problem. And problems always tries to come and get to the answer, but they can't receive the answer because they like being the problem. And most of us, we have to be able to admit that we have been the problem in the past, but we also found the answer as well. So today, you guys, I hope that we can find the answer. We can use self-empowerment. I'm not really seeing the comments because the lights is too bright. And every time I try to look down and I try to see what's going on, I cannot see what's going on. But what I can see is that fire that's lit. And when that fire is lit, that tells me that it's burning up something. Somebody might have posted something. You might see some fire and you just hit that fire, because at the end of the day, you got to know how to deal with your adversaries, right? We live in a world that we have to live together. We have to live with good and bad. We have to live with, happiness and sad. We got to live with people that's in love and people that don't know how to love themselves, right? And that's the world we're living in. We're living in educated, right? And we live in some people that's just dysfunctional, discomfort, right? I just hope that when it comes down to the things that I come here to do, that just maybe I can leave some of you in a better place than the place that you came in on, right? I hope that we can leave different from the way we came in. So I'm gonna get into my little message. I'm gonna get into my little powerful thing that I got, some stuff I've been working on, some things I've been doing. One of the things that I was wrestling with earlier today, this morning, I woke up and it's just an angel was speaking to me, and it was just saying that it was showing me how important it is that learning, right? For many of us, we're in a learning state, right? And being that we're in a learning state, it allows us to develop and grow. Personal development, personal growth. When you're in a learning state, it allows you to listen and learn so you can grow. But for others, right, they feel that, so I'm listening to this and I'm saying, wow, you know what, I can't wait to the point where I can say I learned. But right now I'm learning, and I hope that that will be the foundation today, that you can tell yourself, if you had to do anything to reset yourself or realign yourself, to say, hey, you know what, I'm learning right now. You see, if you tell yourself that you're learning, it puts you in a to not be judgmental towards others and the things that you see. So I'm learning that you can't please everybody. I'm learning that everybody don't like me. I'm learning that some people got a problem with you because you smiling and you happy. They don't know what you're going through, but I don't know what some people see when they see me, but they are frustrated. They're angry. They're trying to sabotage your walk because they can't see their walk. Come on now. I'm trying to tell you that when you realize that you're learning, it opens up a doorway. And what I'm trying to tell you right now is that for many of us, just make sure that you can write that down and just say, I'm learning. I'm learning. You don't ever want to get to the point where you're not learning, right? But one thing I did say, I can't wait till I get to the point to say, I learned. When you can say I learned, that means you're not learning. That means you learn. But this right here can cost us, and many of us have been hurt by what we learned. We done learned so much of someone else's way that you never even found your own way. That means you was programmed at the beginning. That means that somebody else, right? When you know how it says you was born into sin. Well, many know that sin and ignorance goes together, right? So when you see someone ignorant, they just mean that they don't know. When you see somebody ignorant, that means they just don't have no understanding, right? Understanding is comprehension. So many of us, we try to teach people that we shouldn't be teaching because they have already learned the ignorant way. And the ignorant way is they go off of what they see. They go off of what they see and they try to interpret the situations, right? They try to interpret the situation. They have no comprehension. They can never teach no lesson. But what they do is they show up and they want to give their opinion about what they think about you. They want to tell you based on the judgmental side, right? Judge the mental. They want to judge your mental based on the fact that they're not even access to their mental, right? And what am I saying to you? I'm saying that when you can say you learned something, I challenge you to recognize what you learn and unlearn it. Unlearn it immediately. You want to be in a learning state, meaning I'm learning from my past conditions. I'm learning from the role that I played, but I really didn't play my part. I really didn't do the best I could have done. I really didn't cooperate with what my heart was telling me, what my mind was telling me, what my spirit was telling me, what my finances was telling me. Some of you, this is an issue. You're shopping and you shouldn't be shopping right now. Your bank account say you shouldn't be shopping. Everything going on saying this ain't the time to be shopping. But yet you're shopping. You're buying instead of receiving. Come on, you guys. That's where the fire starts at right there. Because you should be receiving. Instead, you're still spending. You're still releasing. You're sowing into somebody else's dream, but you're not sowing into your own. Come on now. What am I saying? I'm saying that when you can recognize what you have learned, you need to take a moment right there. It's called self-realization. You can write that down, right? Take a moment, realize that some of the things I learned, it was in the worst condition. You learned this when you was a parent. You could have been a mother. You could have been a father. You learned this when you was young. That means you was a child and there was an adult over you. And whatever you picked up in that condition, somehow, some way, you still operating in this condition. What am I saying? Self-realization will bring you to the fact that you learned some stuff that you should not have never have learned. You learned how to use profanity. You learn how to use bad words. Let's call it that. You learn how to use curse words, which means you frustrated and angry, use these words, right? So you learn eating habits that wasn't good. You learn chicken fried extra hard. You learn that the things that wasn't good for you was the things that was given to you, right? You learn how to love Pepsi and at night ginger ale. You like soda. You like you like coffee, artificial energy. You're operating off of every energy except your own. Come on now. What am I saying? I'm saying you depended on others more than you depend on self, right? So that's why we have to fix this program and self-realization. So to get over to the unprogramming of this program that was done, right? That will be self-discovery, right? Self-discovery, right? Self-discovery. I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be self-discovery. This is when you discover that, you know what? Let me unlearn this. Let me unlearn this and let me put myself in regards and back into this thing here. Let me recognize that these things are harmful to me. It causes discomfort. It causes disease, right? There's disorder. There's chaos, right? Everything that we do that deals with a choice or a decision will create a circumstance or a situation. Every choice and decision will create a consequence. For many of us, we never will choose the consequence. Wisdom don't choose consequences. Wisdom only allows you to make a choice or a decision. No choice and no decision is a decision. And the outcome could be, it can be devastating. And for many of us, we never made a choice, and never made a decision. We never made a decision to be unhappy. We never made a decision to be not feeling less than. We never made a decision to be jealous. We never made a decision to be lonely, right? But somehow we end up being this, right? And the feeling was created psychologically. This is why we have to unlearn. Now let's get over to self-recovery is relearning now. And that's one of the things that we get when we come on this broadcast. We get an opportunity to relearn self, right? Self-awareness. So I want to start with some points that I wrote down because this is what gives us the ability. Ability is a word that I definitely want you guys to understand. We all have the exact same ability. God gave us the ability, and today you have the availability to work on the ability that He has given us, right? We have the ability, right? So notice I taught in the other lessons, knowledge is information. So we can receive the information. We have the information, right? That is the knowledge, right? But also we're gonna need to understand what understanding is. Understanding is more so comprehending. Do we understand what's being said, how it's being said, and how it's being used, right? So I just want to make sure that we're taking hold and we're using all the experiences and the things we have gathered up until this point so that we can possibly turn and we can look forward and we can press forward right now. Life is meant to live forward, but understood looking backwards. And right now, we don't need to be looking backwards. We need to be looking forward to what's about to happen next. We need to look forward to where we're going next, right? And the way we're going to need to do that is using wisdom right now. You're going to hear a lot of people. Trust me, you're going to hear a lot of people talking about wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is application. Like application is like a program that's running, right? And for many of us, we want to manifest something. But whatever it is that's manifesting in our life, you're going to have the application to support what you want to manifest. And that is where the error is coming in at. We have an error code. The error is reading not compatible. Why are we not compatible with people that we assume to know or think we know? Why did and how did we outgrow people, right? How did we go from being like this to being like this, right? That's because we're not compatible. The software has changed. You has changed. The way you view things has changed. And it's about time that we adjust to the change that is constantly taking place. And today, this is where we ground ourselves. I am my life coach. It is a self-help mental health awareness tool. This is mental health month right now, you guys. I'm very passionate. That's why I didn't shut down my broadcast in the month of May. We get a little time here in the U.S. I realize that we got some people looking on to this broadcast over in Israel. Man, I pray for you and everybody that's in any other country or any other city. My prayers is to you. Nothing but peace and love. That's all I can give you because I don't know you, but I always hope that you can live in peace and live out of peace. Live in peace and love out of peace. I love being me. I love doing what I do. I love trying to assist and help people see this path that was discovered, right? So I want to get into this thing, flip the script. Won't be here this long, but I do have a mighty message that I'm going to bring across in a mighty way. You guys, I'm not going to be ashamed and I'm not running from this scripture, but I need it. I need it like a fish need water right now. And I want to make sure that when you see me, right, when you see me and you see how I do it, then maybe you can do it the exact same way. I told you ability is some of the thing, the ability. We all have the ability, but what I want you to write is first make sure that you understand availability. Availability, right? Availability. That's how we're starting. The word ability, but then we're going to stick availability on top of that, right? That's where it starts. Availability, right? Availability, it starts with, right? It leads to accountability, right? So notice what I'm trying to explain to you. Many of us, we had it backwards because we want somebody else to be accountable, right? But let's be clear. Let's ask yourself, was they really available? Was you really available? Was your heart available? Was your emotions available? Was your peace, your joy, was it available? Was your finances available? Right? Was your spirit available to love someone, to give to someone, to be open to someone? And what am I saying? I'm going so deep without you even knowing. I'm going deep because I was given access to go this way, right? You got to ask yourself availability. Was my mind available? Was my heart available? Was my spirit available? Was my body available? Was my money available? Right? Because all this goes together, especially if you are the one that's supposed to release it. If it's available, then it's up to you to hit the trigger. Come on now. And that's what you releasing. That's not what you're receiving. That's what you're releasing. And for many of us, we wasn't available, right? So availability is first. And what does it lead? To accountability. It leads straight to accountability. What is that? Ability to have what? An account. And the account is when you released it, what did you release? Did you release peace? Did you release joy? Did you release your heart? Did you release your heart desire? Did you release the husband in you? Did you release the wife in you? Did you release the friend in you? What did you release? Because that's what you have to give an account for. And this right here can be very tricky, you guys. So let's just go on and trickle down a little more. Let's go deeper. Accountability brings forth what? Stability. Stability meaning I'm stable at what I give. I'm stable at how I love. I'm stable when it comes to me expressing myself. I'm stable. Stability. That means I'm not running. You say something to me, I don't receive it. I don't like it, but I don't run. Why? Because I'm stable. And you see, when somebody tries to release negative energy to you, if you do not receive it, it returns back to the one who released it. And they are the one that will be affected by what they tried to release out. Come on now. What am I saying? I'm saying when you try to sabotage somebody, you end up sabotaging yourself. Come on now. Been there, done that. We should be learning this right now. Why? Because this is self-realization right now. We got to identify with what we learned. And then once we learn it, we got to recognize that we need to unlearn it. Let's go. Self-discovery. Moving on over to now we got to relearn. That's self-recovery. And now we're finna recover everything that was lost now. This is where you find opportunity at. This is where you find accountability at. This is where you find the availability at. This is where you find the stability at. Let's move over. Stability brings forth credibility. Now, let me just show you something about credibility, you guys. Credibility is really crucial. Why? Because you can give an account to why you do what you do. And when you know why you do what you do, you continue to do it because you can now close your eyes now. You can rest in peace right there, right now. And you know what it means to rest in peace? To rest in peace, meaning I know I do the right thing. So I'm never in questioning whether or not I don't do the right thing. I only know how to do the right thing. And I know what I'm capable of doing and I do it. I know what I'm capable of doing and I do it. That is credibility. I keep showing up to be me. And that's where personal growth come in at. That's where personal development come in at. And self-empower is the kicker to everything. That's the fire that you're seeing right now. That's the power that's being released right now. Because my credibility, now what am I saying? Credibility. It can go a long way. Why? Because the way you spend money goes with credit. The way your word says something goes with credit. When you send out a prayer, God, you do this for me, I'm going to do this. There go the credit right there. So when you realize he's the credit counselor, which Jesus is the credit counselor, right? That means that, hey, for many of you, you had to file bankruptcy. What is bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is when I cannot pay my debt right now. I can't pay all the relationships I messed up, all the opportunities I had a chance to be a good woman, or I had a chance to be a good man, and I did not perform properly. How could you not perform the way you're supposed to perform if you gave the okay for the relationship that you was trying to bring forth? What am I saying? I'm saying every situation that requires your attention or your presence, you have to give an account for. And if that thing go underwater, you will have a mark on your credit, which will lead you to bankruptcy. And for some of us, when the Christ and the higher self shows up, it don't look at where you've been. It don't look at what you've been through. It don't look at how you handle your heart, how you handle your emotions, how you handle your body, right? Some of you can look at how a person handle their body based on the outside. What am I saying? I'm saying on inside determines the outside. If you don't eat right, it's going to show on the outside. What am I saying? I'm saying to you, you guys, credibility is really huge, especially when you are seeking power from the higher power, especially when you're going through Christ, which is higher self. Come on now. And higher self will lead you straight to I Am My Life Coach, acknowledging the creator by respecting the creation. And right now, we're learning because for some of us, we need to get to a point, a new point to say, I have learned that I don't know everything. I have learned that I have messed everything up. I have learned that I done put it on everybody except myself. And that was the wrong way of thinking. I wasn't thinking at all. And that's how you know when you have got yourself trapped in bondage. Bondage meaning you learned something and you don't even challenge what you learned. And that will be a program. The program is to not question the program. So when you think you learned something, you need to question what you learned and who you learned it from. And now it's time to uninstall it. So we on credibility, but when you go from credibility, it leads over to security. And security is when you know that you no longer have to question what you're going to do. Because now wisdom, remember at the beginning I stated, wisdom is choice and decision. We don't choose consequences. Wisdom don't choose consequences. Wisdom only chooses, it's an execution, right? It's an application. Wisdom only chooses the choice and the decision. The consequence is not up to you, not up to me, right? This is going to help us. This is going to help us. And that's where the security comes in at, right? So every false belief that acts as the truth needs to be, every false belief acts as the truth until it's neutralized by the truth. So for many of us, if you never questioned the philosophy, if you never questioned the religion, if you never questioned the tradition, if you never questioned the culture, then it's a possibility that you are under the authority or under the power of something that's working against who you are. And we need to get that lifted up off of you. And the only way to get that lifted up off of you, this right here, you can't pray up off of you. You only can become aware. And when you become aware, your power now will outdo the power that was over you. You see, when you don't know your power, you have no power. You're not aware of this working. And so now you recognize this is how people end up in relationships and situations and circumstances and bad conditions, because somebody put you in something that you never agreed to be in, and you didn't know that they was dating you, but you wasn't dating them. Come on now. What am I saying? You was dating them, but they wasn't dating you, right? You was trying to work this thing and look this thing out, and they sitting here going on trying to build wherever it is their empire or whatever, and you got your own hidden agenda. Come on, y'all. This is what I'm saying. We've been there. We done that, but now we have to cross over and we have to do this. So listen, I have an amazing word. I want to get into it with this, the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. I Am My Life Coach 2 is very powerful. I use it each and every day, and I think you can use it too. And it will make great impact in the way that you think on a day-to-day basis. So I got to get into this message because this message just blessed me, and I want to make sure that everybody know that at June 1st, that first week, I will do my broadcasting. You won't hear me again until July, right? Change is great for many of us. We don't have to, the situations don't have to change, but we can change in the midst of the situation. I do believe this. We do not have a right to leave this earth or even be on this earth upset and mad. Some of us, God has been good to us. He gave us so much, so soon, so quick. We messed up so much. He gave it to us again and again and again and again and again. And we need to be happy. And the only thing that's going to make us happy is understanding, which is comprehension. We need to understand how it works. But sometimes how it works gives you information, gives you knowledge, and it doesn't allow you to have a lot of people around. You find yourself by yourself, but thank God that you made it. And now we have to find other people that made it. And we have to talk about the goodness of what God did for you as an individual. That is your revelation. That is your testimony. God is speaking through revelation, and you need to work on yours right now. Listen to me, you guys. Let's go into the scripture. I have an amazing word today. This word brought me to a place that I just had to share it. Come on, Sister Sonia. I see you here. If nobody here, I got to see Sister Sonia. Me and her talk so much. We was on the phone so long talking about some things, right? Let me give you this. Let me give you this. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, go to John 14:4. Wait a minute, John 4. John 4. Go to John 4 real quick, you guys. John 4, right? Now listen to this. This is critical. John 4, NIV. Watch this, right? Watch this. Now Jesus. Now listen to me. Before I tell y'all this, let me fix this. I gotta give a disclaimer, you guys, and I gotta be honest. I'm tired, right? I'm tired. And when you tired or you frustrated or you just don't know where your life is going, somehow the spirit in you start talking to God on its own. And it start talking back. But notice, you didn't hear God until you got tired, right? You didn't hear God talking to you until you got tired, right? And I'm tired, right? And I'm going to show you what type of tired I'm talking about. Go to John 4. Now watch this. There, now Jesus learned. You see, learning and learned. That's the word I start off with. Jesus learned that the Pharisee had heard that he was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying somebody else is already doing a report on your progress. Right? No matter where you at, somebody's testifying. Yeah, they doing this. They telling your business. They running their mouth about what's going on with you. You over here trying to go get yourself together. You over here trying to get your coins in order. You over here trying to get your health together. You over here trying to work out. You over here trying to make some real decisions for your tomorrow. And somebody over here running their mouth about you, right? And you had to learn this. So notice, learning this and learn this, and learning meaning you can't vent to everybody. You can't talk to everybody. You can't socialize. Some of you, we put ourselves down so much because the ones we around, we trying to accommodate them more than we trying to accommodate ourselves. Well, why are we trying to accommodate them? Because your peace means more to you than them. What do I mean? I mean, take the attention off me, put it back on you. You right, I'm wrong, because my peace will allow me to walk away. But if you got to walk away happy because you feel like you right, then that's the issue right there. But thank God it ain't my issue no longer. Come on, y'all. You got to light fire now. We got to press. Although it's facts, it was not Jesus who baptized, meaning that Jesus had people that was in his surroundings, right? They was called his disciples. They was called the Invisible Crown Army. They was called I Am My Lifecoach, right? This is a teaching that was brought forth by God for a new time as right now. That means this will help you, right? It will only help you. This will help you. You be a better you, right? So watch this. I had to say that like that for a reason. But they gave Jesus the credit for The disciples. It says it wasn't the disciples that was baptizing, right? They said it was Jesus baptizing. But what did Jesus say? Jesus said that I didn't baptize nobody. It was the people that got I Am My Life Coach that was out there changing the world because their world was changing. And the way their world was changing by I Am My Life Coach. But they said that the head person was the one that was changing them. Like, I'm somebody's pastor or something. No, I'm pastoring me. I'm working with me openly and honestly through spirit and through truth. And that's what allows you to work on you at the same time that I'm working on me. But don't tell me you working on you and don't do the work, because the work starts now. This is what work looks like. And I'm showing you what works look like, right? So watch this. This goes deeper. Watch this, you guys. But it was really somebody else, right? So he left that area. He left that area, right? And now, verse 4, now he had gone through Samaria. So he came to a town of Samaria, right? Now let's go down to verse 6. Jacob was there. Jacob well was there. And Jesus, here you go, verse 6. Jacob well was there. So Jesus came to an area that Jacob well was there. Jesus didn't build his well. Somebody else's well was here. Now look at this. Watch this. Jesus, tired as he was from the journey. Now, whoever was this author or this narrator, they wanted to make sure, Sister Song, you know, that Jesus was tired. So for many of you who be like, I ain't gonna speak that out of my mouth, let me say it again. In John 4, it says right here, Jesus was tired from the journey. And for many of us, where you used to be, you not no more. That is a journey. What you used to fight up against, that you don't fight no more, that right there is a journey. That means I done got to this point where certain stuff I just don't entertain. Why? Because I'm tired now. I'm tired. I finally got it in my mind, in my spirit, in my body, in my soul. I finally figured it out right now. I'm tired of explaining myself to people right now. I'm tired of realizing that they don't owe me anything. I owe myself everything. It ain't what they gonna do for me. It's what I'm gonna do for me by choosing the people that's worthy of who I am. And if you got my attention, then you got me. And if you got me, then I gotta turn it on, and I gotta light fire. I gotta give power, and I gotta make sure that the light is the light. And if you blows your fuse because this light shines so bright, then you will take your hands off of me and leave me alone. What am I saying? I don't have to cuss at nobody. I don't have to go back and forth with nobody. I don't have to bring out my credentials. I don't have to sit here and put myself on trial and let somebody interrogate me. Let somebody sit here and talk down to me or talk at me. Because why? Here's the why. Because I'm learning. You see, learning allows me to listen. And when I listen, I don't hear Christ. And when I don't hear Christ, that means that it's time for me to apply wisdom. That is an application. And that application, which is triggered, right? Remember, accountability, credibility, stability, all these things trigger one to another. It goes together. Do you hear me? Now watch this. Watch this. Jesus, tired from the journey, he sat down. You hear me? Many of you, this is why I'm saying to you, starting June 1st, hey, I'm sitting down one time. I'm coming on here and I'm going to give you a very powerful message, and then I'm going to keep it moving. Watch this. He sat down, right? He sat down by the well about noon. What am I saying? Noon is a certain time, divine time. And for some of us, we mess up because you try to push something at the wrong time. And that's how you know when somebody don't have wisdom special, because they trying to get something at the wrong time. They trying to press you at the wrong time. And I'm saying I'm tired, but you trying to push me. Imagine that somebody trying to ask you for something and this ain't the time. But you gonna release something. See, don't release something because it's not the time to release. Then it's gonna mess up. We gotta make sure that everything is in alignment at the time. So it wanted to make sure that he was tired. He was tired at a certain time. He sat down at a certain time. And what am I saying to us today? I'm saying that we gotta call a timeout. And what am I saying about the timeout? Let's go deeper. Watch this. He sat out about noon, right? Now look at this. When a Samaritan woman came to draw water. Stop right here. He tired based on where he been, but she not tired. She not tired at all. Watch this, you guys. This is a flip right now. This is a miracle. This is a hidden jewel right now. This gonna bless somebody today. Watch this. She ain't tired. She on her way to get her water, but she comes up on somebody who's tired. Right here, John 4:7. When the Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus had to say to her, will you give me a drink? Stop right here. This is what I'm trying to tell you, especially if you are a woman. You better be ready to do what it is you need to be doing. Because some of us, we done locked ourselves up and messed ourselves up, jacked ourselves up, and it's not happening for you until you open your heart and receive, until you put yourself in a learning condition. Again, many people operate behind that little wall. Many people operate out of what they learn. And what they learn only came from not having wisdom. And wisdom is your choice and your decision. And they didn't like the consequences. They didn't like the outcome. They didn't like the after effect. You know, you sow, you reap, you sow, you reap, you sow. It's not you reap, you sow. See, they give it to us in the opposite format so that when you become to a certain point of maturity, then you know you can't reap unless you sow. You can't reap unless you sow, right? So you have to sow and then you reap. So if I'm sowing apples, I reap apples. But if you giving me apples, I did not sow that. That's something you give me. And for many of us, we are so in I want to receive whatever I can get. But you ain't sow what it is you desire to have. You didn't sow what you desire to have. Watch this. Jesus tell this lady, right? Y'all got to get this. This is good. Jesus tell this lady, come on now. Draw me some water. Give me something to drink. Now notice, his disciples is nowhere around. So this person that's around is totally new, right? Watch this. I should do a podcast called Watch This, right? Watch this, right? Many of us, I pray that we have a watch this moment, because when you know what you know, you're going to always bless somebody and supersede their expectation, because they already put limitations on what you can do. See, you can't put limitations on God. And if God is operating in me and through me, then I'm going to be like, watch this, right? I pray that we have a watch this moment where God shows up and it blows the minds of all your haters and your naysayers, those that's trying to hold you back, those that's trying to hate on you, those that's trying to come against what God already spoke for you. Why are you trying to come against where I'm going, right? Let me be great. Right? And you focus on if you're going to be great or not. But see, you want to convince me on who you are and make me forget who I am. Come on now. That is worth fire right there. Light you some fire. I'm not moving until fire come on that screen. You better get on that fire right now. Come on, tap in with me right now on that right there. See, you want to distract me and put me on you. And I need to make sure that I need to focus on me. I need to make sure that my fire and who I am is connected to the right source. And I ain't got time to be connected to a resource. You see, we chase resources. Anybody else outside of you is a resource, right? God is the source, right? I'm going to the source. So watch this, you guys. Look at this. It says, in John 4, right? This lady, she come down. He said, give me a drink. Verse 9, the Samaritan woman said to him, you are a Jew and I am a Samaritan. Stop right here. That means she was able to see that you are not like us. You're not like us, right? Like Kendrick's song, you're not like us, right? You are different, right? You talk different. You sound different. You look different, right? You ain't like us, right? This is why image is important, you guys, because she going off of what she see. She going off of what she see. I don't see no ring on his finger, right? He's sitting over here and he already big and he already asking. Come on, y'all. Y'all know how it go. You can't ask nobody for nothing. You know, I ain't finna take care of no man. I ain't finna do all this stuff. This is Jesus talking to. Now keep in mind, Jesus tired. He's tired of trying to show people who he is now. He's tired of trying to help people, and now he needs some assistance. Come on, y'all. Now the woman of God needs some assistance. Now the man of God needs some assistance. He tired, right? She over here, and now she want to check him out now. Now watch this. She says to him, You a Jew. I'm a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? Isn't this amazing that a woman thinks that, hey, look, you shouldn't be asking me for anything. Come on now, it's, in this day and time, you can't ask a woman to do anything on your behalf because she only want to do things for a specific reason. This is why it's a specific reason. Because hey, listen, you a man, you a Jew, I'm a Samaritan. You shouldn't even be asking me for anything. Now watch this. How can you ask me for something right now? Watch this. Jesus answered her. See, she asked the question. He is about to provide an answer. This is why learning is important. This is why learning is important. She asks, how can you ask me for blah, blah, blah? See, for many of us, the person that you meet is not the one who have hurt you. The person that you meet is not the one from your past. The one that you meet is actually in your future. The one that you keep holding on to is the one in your mind. That's from your past. Come on, you guys. Watch this. Verse 10, Jesus said, if you knew the gift of God, if you knew the gift of God, that is information. That's knowledge. Understanding is comprehension. So Jesus is using wisdom to determine that this person lacks comprehension, which is understanding. He said, if you knew. See, it's hard to talk to someone and give someone something. He said, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that is asking you for a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. What am I saying? Living water, you guys. Living water, right? Living water means that Christ is living inside of you. Living water means that I'm asking you for something, but you using material things. You using hard labor. You over here, I asked you to give me a sip of water out of a well. That means you had to put your bucket in and bring the water out. But since I'm not like you, since I'm not with you, Jesus saying, oh, since I'm not your man or any of those things, I just asked you for some water. You don't want to talk to me because I'm not with you. And see, this is what we have to unlearn. We have to unlearn this childish behavior that when you connect with somebody, you have a hidden agenda for them already. Or better yet, you have an agenda for them already. And that is to serve you, to wait on you, to take care of you, to provide for you. You have to remove this way of thinking, or this way of thinking will remove you. And many of us has been removed. We done been zapped. We done been trapped. And now it's time to free ourselves. So if you can check this out, watch this. It goes deeper, you guys. It goes deeper. You got to get this one. Look at this. It says, if you knew, right, you'll be asking me for the living water. What is living water? That means it's, oh, watch this. Let's just let it go, run out. Verse 11, sir, you see the respect? There go respect. Sir, the woman said, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Stop right here. She's used to using the same way to date, the same way to cook, the same way to be herself. She ain't used to nothing different. Ain't nothing different about her. So she looks at him and say, let me tell you something. You ain't got no bucket. You ain't got no rope. You ain't got no job. You ain't got no, I can see you ain't got nobody in your life. Why are you single? Or any of those things. She's using her earthly eyes to dictate something, right? Now watch this, because this is when it goes deeper. Look at this. She asked, she said, you don't have anything, right? Where can you get this living water? You see, wisdom is application. Christ Jesus is tired, but she's asking him for application. She's asking him for how you gonna get water. See, her way of getting water is a rope and a bucket. His way of getting water is going straight to the source, going straight to the source, going straight to the source. It's not what they gonna do, it's what you gonna do. And for many of you, there go your blessing right there. I'm not concerned about what you can do. I'm concerned about what God is calling me to do. And if I don't do it, I will become disabled. I will become suspended. I will get rejected. I will sit here and lose my balance. I will lose my balance. I will lose so much. And for many of us, we never showed up. That's why we never growed up. We never showed up. That's why we never got the power. At least she showed up. And when she showed up to the well, she showed up with her old ways, but she will not leave the exact same way. I can assure you that. Let's go. Let's go deeper because I got something else I want to give. So look at this. She said, you don't got no bucket. You don't got no rope. You don't got nothing. Look at this. In verse 11, where can I get this living water? You ain't got nothing. Listen, verse 12. Are you greater than our father? This means she was taught by somebody else. This means her father raised her. Her mama raised her. Her grandma raised her. The church raised her. This is religion. This is politics. This is where I live. This is my country. This is how I run. This is my area. This is my gang. This is my community. This is where I work at. Imagine working at a new company with old people and they don't want to see you there. Come on now, watch this. Look at this. She said, are you greater than our father who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and his livestock? Jesus answered. Let me turn this book around. Jesus answered, because this is mine right here. Watch this. Jesus answered, everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. There are many people that are thirsty. And they stay thirsty. They want to go out for a date. They want to go out to go eat. They want to go for a drink. They want to go to movies. They want to go spend time with somebody. They want to go for a walk. They want sound like a kid on some childish stuff, right? I want a date, right? I want to go date somebody. I'm tired of being by myself because you're thirsty. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Me and thirsty too, right? They want anything that looks good. They want to get the little walk, just that little 10-second alone. Watching somebody walk past, that is fulfilling right there, right? 10 seconds alone, looking at that, then they might go home and they might put it down on whoever else. But what am I saying? Just thirsty, right? Thirsty people, right? Now watch this. It says, but whoever drink this water, listen, everyone who drink your water will be thirsty again. Listen at that. Whoever drink your water will be thirsty again. How many times do people got to keep coming to you? Come on now. How many times do your children have to keep coming, asking you for support, asking you for help? Right? Because if you're not giving them Christ, you're not giving them the source. You keep trying to be the resource. You keep trying to be the resource, and they keep being thirsty again. But what Christ is saying is, when I leave you, I'm leaving you with I Am My Lifecoach. That is the living water. That means if you don't ask, you ain't receiving. If you don't have it, that's because you ain't asked for it. And when you ask, you're going to have to believe that you're going to get what it is you asking for. And what am I saying? It's about what you going to do, right? So look at this. I pray you guys got that. You should light fire for that. That was good too. Look at this. It says, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst again. Whoever drinks the water that I give them will never thirst again, right? Indeed, the water I give them will become in them. The water I give them, Sister Sonia, will become in them. You see this book say, I am my life coach again? The water I give you is for you to be a better version of you. Everybody that gets on this broadcast, everybody that can hear me under the sound of my voice, I don't care what country you in, what community you in, what situation you in, what family you in, what circumstances you in. What I'm expressing to you right now, that there is living water that lies inside of you. The only way to get this water, you're going to have to go inside yourself. You're going to have to go inside your mind. You're going to have to spend some time with yourself. You're going to have to recognize that the only one that was missing was you. Yes, you might have messed up. Yes, you might have went left. Yes, you might have did too much at the wrong time, but it ain't too late to be what you might have been today. You better light your fire and understand that the living water is at stake right now, and you need that living water to be in you, so that it can flow through you. Come on now, living water flowing through me right now, immediately. Light your fire right now. You will never thirst again. That's why you can't be thirsty around certain thirsty people. That's why you can turn down opportunities, turn down jobs, turn down going turn down dates, turn down numbers. That's why you ain't got to chase no man or chase no woman, because you're not thirsty when you already have everything you need. And for many of you, you already needed the water. You already had the water. But see, some of you, you want to know who gonna pour into you. You ain't got to pour into you what's already in you. Come on now. This is an inside job. This is an inside job. Look at this. Jesus is talking and Jesus is giving out application. And let's be clear. He's tired. And he's using application. I'll prove it. Application is wisdom. Watch this. He said, the water I give them will. I didn't say you. The water I give them, meaning the people that I know. I give out the living water. I don't give out water that causes people to keep coming back. I give out water that you ain't never got to come back. You ain't never got to call me. You ain't never got to come on my broadcast ever again. Because once I done gave you this, you own to something bigger, better, and greater anyway, right? Now watch this. When you do come back, it's only to show love. Come on, special, let's roll. Watch this. It says, I give them the water, right? I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life. Here go eternal life right here. Eternal life is in the water. Where's the water? The water is in you. It's right here. It's right here. You just got to read it. John 4, verse 14, right? Now watch this. Verse 15. The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water. Give me this water. Now notice, I asked you to give me some water at the beginning. You didn't want to give me none. You want to question me on that water. Not to mention, I'm tired and I'm still helping somebody else. How many of you can say, I'm tired and I'm still praying for people? I'm tired and I'm still asking God, can they do something for somebody else? I'm the one that's tired, but yet I got to sit here and still be on the front line for everybody else. Come on, y'all. You got to get this. It's time for us to get this. Light your fire on that right there. There you go, Tamika. You lit that one. You lit now. Watch this. Watch this. Look at this. The woman said to him, Sir, give me some of this water so I won't get thirsty. How did she believe him that quick? I don't want to get thirsty no more, right? Because she was listening. Listening triggers learning. She was learning about living water. She didn't have living water. She was learning about living water. He was teaching her about living water, meaning, how do I have this energy? How you ever showed up at a job and everybody like, you just got so much energy. You just look so much, man. Something about you today. Something about this here. I just love your personality. I just love you, how the way you talk to people. I love how you handle, see your energy. And you over here ain't got $2 in your pocket. You over here looking like, God, look. I know people seeing me being me, but God, come on now. God is the source. Wisdom is what triggers resources. We got to get some resources over here, right? Let's be clear. Watch this. Thirsty, he said, listen, I won't, she said, give me some of that water so I won't keep getting thirsty, right? And have to keep coming here to draw water. Give me some of your water, which is the living water, so I won't be thirsty, so I won't have to keep going out on dates. I won't have to keep running to the building. Could they pray for me? Altar call, all that. Give me some of this water so I won't keep being thirsty, right? Trying to go check out every time somebody new come in town. I got to go over here to this church. I got to go over here. This person singing, this person doing a workshop, this person doing a revival, this person doing a press session. I'm all over the place running, but my closet at home, I ain't never been in. My bed, I ain't never been on my knees. I ain't got on my knees in so long to even talk to my God. Come on now. I ain't done anything to show my God that I got the living water right here, right? So this is where it's get crucial at. So look at this. She said, I don't want to keep coming back. Isn't it amazing that for some of you, when the last time you told God, look, God, I don't want to keep coming back here. I don't want to keep dating people. I don't want to keep going to the movies. I don't need temporary people keep showing up and they keep failing miserably. Not because I'm failing, they failing at who they are. Because who they are keep questioning who I am. I know who I am, but do you know who you are? Do you know that you feel with the power? Do you know that you got everything it takes to make it happen? Do you know you got the bells and the whistles? The only thing you need to do is know how to ring the bell and blow the whistle, but instead you will let somebody else ring your bell. You will let somebody else blow your whistle. And now you want to chase them down because they can make you do something that you can't do on your own. Come on now. But this time you're going to take full control. You're going to take ownership. You're going to go over what it is that you've been under, and you're going to go around what it is that done had you trapped and bound. Come on now, you loose today. Let's loose this thing and get you moving in God and through God. Let's go deeper. So let's go deeper, you guys. Light your fire. The woman said, listen, I don't want to keep coming back. Verse 16, he told her, go. He told her, go. He ain't say, what's up with that water though? Why you ain't give me no water? Remember I asked you for some water at the beginning? You sit here and question me. See, this is why you shouldn't show up in somebody else's life trying to question them about who they are. And then once they prove to you that they are who they are, now you got a problem with being you because you already out of range. You done spent so much time in their world trying to make sure that they check out and everything is everything over there, that by the time it's time for you to return to you, you ain't got a stand, you ain't got a position, you ain't in formation, you ain't got a prayer, you ain't got nothing because you done questioned everything that God said he was going to do on your behalf. Come on now. Why? Light this fire. He gave you what you asked for. You just didn't know how to hold on to it. You didn't know how to work it. You didn't know that what you asking for going to require something of thee. It's going to require you, right? It's going to require you. To much is given. What you asking for, to much is going to be given. You want to get pregnant? You're going to have a baby, but you're going to have to nurture the baby. You're going to have to feed the baby, birth the baby, change the baby, dress the baby, take the baby to school, get the baby, go to graduation, go to prom. You're going to have to do all this. This your child, but you asked for it, and that child been all in your bank account ever since. Come on now, light your fire. Light your fire. Here it come. Let's go deeper. It says, since you've been questioning me, he told her, go call your husband and come back. Meaning, you want some living water, but I got to give you this living water. I want you to go get your husband and then come back, right? Listen to what she say. I have no husband. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. I have no husband. She replied. That's wisdom. That's application. She got the information. What was the information? The information was, go get your husband, right? The comprehension was, and come back. Go home, find who the husband is, bring him back. That's our understanding. But wisdom is, let me just tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And see, for many of us, if you don't speak that thing as not as though it were, meaning tell the truth, then you will be in sin, right? Ignorant. Because why wouldn't you tell the truth, right? Telling the truth meaning I ain't got no husband. So you keep praying for a husband, but this ain't no, Jesus is helping this lady without having a husband. Look at this. It says, I have no husband. She replied. Jesus said to her, you are right. When is the last time you was actually honest about your situation? God, I'm not happy right now with where I'm at right now. I'm not happy with how I'm handling myself as a woman right now. I'm not happy as how I'm handling myself as a mother right now. I'm not happy at how I'm handling myself as a friend right now. I'm not happy with how I'm spending my finances right now. I'm not happy with how I done handle my body. I don't work out. I don't take vitamins. I'm not reading to enhance my understanding of my literature. Is off. I'm all into the computer now. I'm addicted to social media now. I'm not doing it. I'm all in the church business, and I fail at my business. I'm all doing everything on that end and don't do nothing on this end. Come on now. When the last time you was honest with God, with Jesus? And you know what Jesus said? He said to her, you are right. You are right. You are right. Now watch this. When you say you have no husband, that is application by Jesus. He identified you right by what you said. You don't have a husband. That's what makes you right. And by that right there, look at this. By that right there, the fact is, this is what she's learning. She's learning from who? From Jesus, who is tired. You see, be not weary and well. He said, let all that are tired come to me. Who is Jesus running to right now? He's tired. And first person he comes to is a helpmate. The first person he comes to is somebody that can help him, right? This is a helper, right? Now watch this. He says, the fact is you have had 5 husbands. 5 husbands, meaning you, lady, have had 5 people that has been in higher self. This is a warning to a lot of the females, which will be a woman out here, is that you gonna have to learn how to grow up in who you are, because you done already had the man who done grew up into who they are. See, you done met a man and you didn't know that he already was a husband because he had Christ. See, Christ is the groomsman, and when the groomsman comes down to marry the man, he become a husband before he finds you. So the point is, he is a husband already. Do you know it took me so long to understand this part? Because many people kept saying, you're married. You're married. I am married. I'm married to Christ, and Christ is married to me. That's what makes me a husband. Now watch this. Jesus said, you're right when you say you have no husband. The fact is you had 5 husbands, and the man, notice, not husband no more, the man. See the transformation? A husband is somebody that's intelligent, somebody that received Christ, somebody that understand how it works, somebody that understand who they are, whom's they are, and that's who he comes to understand this, right? Now notice, 5 husbands she rejected, but the man you now have is not your husband. See, you ain't got a husband, you got a man. And the man you got is the same way you saw me. That's what he's saying. You saw me as a man when actually I'm the husband. How am I the husband? Easy. He the husband because he got the living water. He the husband because he got the living water. He the husband that when you get some of me, you will never thirst again, because there is a friend in me. You hear me? Let's go deeper. Come on, Sister Sonia. Get your fire together. We closing out now. We closing out. Sister Sonia, get your fire together. Okay. So what he says to her, you had 5 husbands. What you have just said is quite true. See the answer? She is now turning from her wicked ways. She is turning from her waywardness. What you said is true. She done had 5 husbands, but the man she with is not her husband. What am I saying? She leaves people who in higher self, and she prefer people that is in lower self. And now Christ is talking to her saying, you had 5 people in higher self that you was with. But the problem is, anybody that's going to challenge you going to change you. And you don't want to change. So you choose somebody that's in lower self, and that is the man, but he is not a husband. This is why you keep meeting a man, and you want a husband, but you keep getting a man, because a man, you feel like you can control him. But a husband, he gonna have to direct you. Come on, y'all. Put your fires up and light your fire for yourself. That right there was a message in itself. And what did he say? What did he say? She said, you are quite, that is true. That is so. See, that is so as that is true. Sir, the woman said, I can see that you are a prophet. Do you see? What made her see was her ability to tell the truth. So when she told the truth, she was able to see that the man of God was right there in front of her. The husband was right there. The husband was right there in front of her. She's about to get married right here. Look at this. Our ancestors worship on this mountain, but you Jews claim that place where we must worship is Jerusalem. Come on now. Listen, she said, this place is where they worship at. And who is at this place? Christ Jesus. Come on now. Look at this woman. Jesus replied, believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father, neither on the mountain nor in Jerusalem. Where would you nurture? Where would you worship him at? You will worship him in your actions, in your day-to-day, in your communication, in your ability to function, not live out of dysfunction. You will worship him in comfortability. You will not worship him in not being in discomfort. Come on, you guys. You will sit here and worship him with credibility, stability, availability, because that's how it works. And that goes with the accountability. I have an account, and with my account gives me the ability to recognize the ownership that I have. And when I'm functioning in my purpose of my creation based on the creator, then I am worshiping the God I call Christ. Come on, you guys. And this is where we close out. A time is coming when you will worship the Father, neither on a mountain, that's like the church, or in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. Jesus is saying you worship what you don't know. We worship what we do know. That's the living water. For salvation is from the Jews. That's an understanding higher self. Yet a time is coming and has now come. A time is coming. That's back in the day. But now come. Your time is now. The power is in now. It says that the time is now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the spirit and in truth. I come in this broadcast at the beginning. I say I come in spirit and truth. I said I come to you in spirit and truth. It doesn't matter what people think about me. It's really what I think about me and what I think about you. And what I think about you is I think you deserve the best me that I can possibly give. In spite of what everybody else might see, what everybody else might hear, let those that have ears, let those hear. Because everybody don't have ears to hear. Everybody don't have, they have eyes, but they don't have eyes to see. This woman is now given eyes to see. She's given ears to hear. She said the true worshiper, he said the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshiper the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshiper must worship in spirit and in truth. The truth is where we are having a struggle at, because if you're not honest, then you're not truthful. You're not being truthful. You ain't been all you should have been. You ain't done all you should have done. You don't give all that you got. You don't trust God to give you more, so you give less. You don't think that you can get it back, so you don't even perform. You not properly preparing yourself, so you are performing poorly right now. You have to tell the truth in order to be empowered. The woman said, I know Messiah. That means Christ. Called him Christ, Messiah, God, Christ. And that was her freedom. That was her faith. That was her marriage. She said, I know that the Messiah called Christ is coming. When he come, he will explain to us. Listen, us. She said, when he come. Who you think you talking to? When he come, he gonna explain it to us. Meaning, she didn't even know, right? Then Jesus declared, I, the one speaking to you, I am he. What happened to us? He went from us to you. He went from us to you. He went from we to me. He was speaking directly. She's trying to advocate for everybody. And when Christ spoke, he said, I am the one. But who was I speaking to? I was speaking to you. This was the connection right here. One-on-one relationship. So I asked you, how did we go from this to this? Today, you guys, knowledge win and ignorance lose, because today, if you heard this message, light your fire, because we went from this to this. And that's why I can decree and declare that I am my life coach. This is the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. I pray that you guys was able to receive this message in an amazing way. I can't apologize for those that have access to the line. You know, this is a public line, it's open, right? But I can say just forgive us for just forgive them, forgive anyone, right? Because long as we was able to walk away knowing something, learning something, then we succeeded, right? Knowledge wins today, ignorant lose. This is Mental Health Month. I hope and pray that you learned something that will help you stay mentally conditioned, right? The mentally conditioned aspect. That's what I'm looking to hit. I look forward to the next time I see you guys on the 5 o'clock Wildfire. And I expect change. So expect me to change. And if I change, then you'll know you changing with me. Thank you guys. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I'm just blown away at the fact at the end, this lady says, the one who's coming named Messiah, which is Jesus, which is Christ, right? He gonna come back for us. Where did you learn this at? You see, she learned this. She wasn't learning this. She learned this, right? And that self-realization, somebody taught her this, ancestors, right? But she got to unlearn this because now she realized, okay, well, hey, this it is what it is. You are true. I can tell you're a man of God. But then he said, the one you speaking on, I am he. Now it's time to relearn that. Now that's a transformation. Thank you guys. Peace and blessing, man. This message really did rock me today. Thank you guys. Take care. Light your fire. Light your fire.